Greetings and welcome. This is Coach Veronica Marie, and today I am here to discuss an aspect of the divine feminine. We call this aspect the crone energy, also known as the older woman energy. So far, we have looked at the maiden, the mother, the wild woman, and now we're looking at the crone energy. So remember that these energies run through our lifespan in terms of age range. These energies fluctuate throughout the month, throughout the days, throughout the weeks, and the more we hone in on the qualities of each aspect, the more familiar we get with the voices of each. And the more familiar we get with these voices and energies, the more deeply we sink into ourselves, right? So if you are new here, I have 3 other teachings under the playlist Divine Feminine. You can go there and listen to the other aspects. Also, if you need one-on-one coaching, you can find me on my website at veronicamarie.com. So the crone energy is the older woman energy. At one point, I described the wild woman energy as the mature maiden. Well, I would also say that the crone energy is the mature mother. And there are a lot of similarities between the mother and the crone. And I don't want to focus too much on how different they are because all of this is one aspect of the divine feminine, right? But we break it down for teaching purposes. So the older woman, the crone, has lived life enough to understand that her perspectives serve the collective, just like the mother, the divine feminine mother, she serves, right? She asks questions of what do I have to do? What is my responsibility? What is required of me? The older woman is no longer really asking those active questions because she intuitively knows by that just being who she is serving the collective, right? Another difference between the mother and the crone is that oftentimes the mother energy it can be reactive. That's not to say that the divine mother energy is not coming from wisdom, but it's a sharper reprimand or a sharper instruction coming from a more intense sense of urgency, right? But the crone, the older woman energy, is kind of like it. She gives divine instruction and she sits back and allows. She doesn't force. She doesn't press. She doesn't really try to get her point across because she doesn't have a sense of urgency. Through living life, she's realized that everything really is as it should be, and people need to progress. And people need to progress according to their life path. So she doesn't have this sense of urgency. She doesn't have this intensity. She really has her ashe over the matter. She gives wisdom. She gives wisdom to us from within and allows us to make choices. She gives wisdom to others and allows them to make choices. When she is in allowing, it's not because she doesn't care or because she has detached. She has the wisdom of understanding that all things do have a way of working out. And so she's more seated within her being. She is more grounded on an everyday basis. She is more caring from a space of wisdom. When when the crone, the older woman, is in her light, She's all of these things. When the mother archetype is in her light, she's very encouraging. She's also very protective and also very intense and urgent, right? And when the crone is in the darker aspect, she can be um, very harsh, blunt. If you ever met an older woman and you who you feel has no tact, it's because she has lived life long enough to number one value her opinion, but when she's in that dark aspect, she goes away from valuing other people's experiences as she shares her opinion, right? The crone energy can get really stuck in isolation in the dark aspect, right? And the light aspect of isolation is the crone energy is really not an energy that seeks attention or seeks validation because she's settled where she is, right? So she's not really outwardly seeking, she's set and people seek her. The dark aspect of the mother is that she'll give and give and give until she is burned out, until she has had enough, until she's drained. And then we have to work at bringing that aspect into balance. The crone and her light aspect does not give to the point of drain because she is wise. She understands that sometimes people need to go through to get through. She understands that some other people need a little bit of assistance, and she moves fluidly and with wisdom in each situation. In her dark aspect, she may become what we call stingy. I've given everything all my life. I don't want to give to nobody else. I'm going to do this because it begins to be that kind of energy, right? So the crone energy spiritually is the medicine woman energy. Now, each aspect of the divine feminine, the maiden mother, wild woman, they are medicine bringers also. But as we have explored each one, we see that the medicine that each one brings is different, right? So the older woman is bringing you the peace, the groundedness, and the wisdom of life. That's her medicine. She is also spiritually bringing you into some practices that may be ancient, practices that you may find yourself doing only to realize that a grandmother, great grandmother, great great grandmother, great aunt used to do the same thing. She brings to mind different kinds of mantras and prayers and rituals, right? And she does this for herself and her collective. Her collective could be family, her collective could be friends or people she works with, but she's very community, collective, medicine woman kind of energy, right? So the question I lay out before you today is what kind of rituals are you being called to now? Some people, they kind of pull back away from the word ritual, right? But a ritual is simply something that you do in honor of a thing, right? And it's something you do in a certain way, right? You could have a morning ritual of waking up, stretching, praying, and going into lighting incense, taking care of yourself in the bathroom. That's my morning ritual. But a ritual doesn't have to be anything woo woo, or it could be, it could be whatever you make it. But what kind of rituals are you being called to? What kind of ancient practices are appealing to you right now? What is the wisdom that flows to you from grandmothers and great grandmothers? What is that wisdom like? How is that wisdom different from the energy of the mothers and the aunts? Also, where do you need more wisdom medicine? How do you know you need more wisdom? Because you're frustrated in a particular area. Maybe you're restless in a particular area. Maybe there's some uncertainty that it has really got you thinking, hey, I really wish I knew what to do. It's a good moment to sit down and ask your inner crone energy, bring me wisdom, bring me clarity, bring me the medicine that heals. Where are, what are some spaces in your life that need to come away from old patterns? Maybe old patterns of looking to others for their opinions or validation, maybe old patterns of responsibility and obligation, even to the point of draining yourself. Maybe patterns of pleasures that really lead more to detriment than your uplifting. These are the questions of the wise woman, the crone energy. How are you managing with your monthly cycle if you still have one? If you don't have your monthly cycle, are you relating well to the latter years? And if not, what do you need to be in support of your menopausal or perimenopausal years? These are good questions from the crone archetype. And that is it for today. If you're new here, please do consider subscribing to this channel, like the video, share it, or listen to other videos that spark your attention, right? You can reach me on my website at veronicamarie.com if you would like one-on-one coaching. You can also connect with me on various social media platforms, especially TikTok and Instagram. Just hashtag Veronica Marie, and I should come up. And that is it. If you are commenting, I cannot see your comments right now, but as soon as I do, I'll be sure to respond.